Welcome, everyone. It's Monday, October 23rd, 2023. Now it's time for our regularly scheduled city council meeting. Will the clerk certify the meeting notice, please?
This meeting has been noticed in accordance with Idaho Code 74-204.
Clerk call roll.
Councilmember Heller,
Present.
Councilmember Jacobs.
Here.
Councilmember Jorgensen. Here. Councilmember Page.
Here.
Great, thank you. If you would stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item D is changes to the agenda. Seeing none, we will move to the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
got a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, the clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Heller,
Yes.
Councilmember Jacobs.
Yes.
Councilmember Jorgensen.
Yes.
Councilmember Page.
Yes.
Thank you. Next item is special business, item F. First item is DSR FY 2023-0007. This is an appeal request by River City Annex LLC. It's requesting an appeal of the approval for a new construction of an eating establishment, full service and food products, small scale processing located at 3100 West Chinden. I think several of you are here for this item. After consulting with Director Thornborough and our counselor, Mr. Wadhams, in an effort to avoid any procedural issues that have popped up over the last period of time, I'm recommending that we hear this on November 13th in a de novo public hearing. That will ensure that there aren't any procedural challenges, that everyone will have their say. We have, for the record, reviewed the contention in the appeal that there's not enough parking for this new establishment. We have confirmed also that the staff computation on the square footage of the building in comparison to our recently passed parking code are consistent. But nonetheless, it's important that if an interested party wants to appeal this application and has an argument that we haven't or don't understand, that they have a chance to do so. Are the representatives here for River City Annex? You're Mr. Leap?
Scott.
Yeah, yes. Are you available on November 13th?
I will be.
Is this what I've laid out acceptable?
Yes, sir. The only thing I should clarify, I'm thrilled with the de novo review. I read the code that indicated that neither of those was de novo. It won't impact, I don't think, what we present, but consistent with your interest in getting it right, maybe we can discuss that as we can. Otherwise, yeah, we're thrilled to just be heard.
Okay,
Mr. Mayor, can we get him on the recording?
I'm sorry, Mr. Lee, I'm sorry to have you, I should have had you come up to the podium because we're recording this. Mics may not have picked you up.
Just a point of order on the issue of whether this appeals right. I would recommend that we hear from the appellant, and then we also give the applicant a chance to respond to it.
Okay.
On the rightness issue.
Okay. Yes, Mr. If you would give us your name and address for the record.
Sure. Scott Leap. I'm from 137 Avenue B in Billings, Montana. 59101. Appearing as general counsel for River City Annex LLC. We're thrilled, to your point, we're thrilled to be heard on the appeal, and our only clarification to the extent it impacts any additional arguments we wanted to bring was to clarify the point about whether it's de novo review, because we read the statute to, or the code, sorry, to indicate that it was, it wasn't. So we're fine with the hearing on the record, but that'll just impact any evidence we bring on the 13th.
Very good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Is the applicant here? Yes.
Yeah, make that the motion.
If you would give us your name and address for the record, sir.
My name's Kevin Settles, 201 East Hearthstone Drive, Boise, Idaho.
Okay.
I'm the president and CEO of Bardney Restaurants.
Okay.
And we are working on this project in partnership with the Riverside.
Uh-huh.
And it's really disappointing, I think, to get this filed against us because it's really a complaint against the city code and we're compliant with the city code. And we've tried to make it very clear that this is a partnership with the Riverside. And if you look at the layout and the property and the subsequent documents that we submitted, we will be utilizing the Riverside's parking, and they've gone out of our way to make sure that it's inconvenient to use the adjacent businesses parking. Well, today they actually do use our existing lot, so maybe they're disappointed that they're going to lose free use of our parking lot. But it's really, it is not beneficial to our overall success to delay it for another month. We will miss some critical timelines going forward. So I must say, we would prefer not to have this held up in hearing because we are compliant with current code.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. If we have a hearing on the 13th, are you available or your representative?
We will make sure that we are available.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, I appreciate that, your comments, and your position is not a surprise to us. However, a further action by the appellant could delay it much longer than November 13th. So that's why I'm recommending that we hear it the 13th and everybody can have their say, and then we'll get a final decision that night. Council, my recommendation is to grant the request for appeal to be heard de novo on November 13th, 2023.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I so move.
Second. The motion is second. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
at our last hearing on DSR FY 2023-007, I specifically asked, and I believe one other council member asked, if there was a cross park agreement in place, and we were told no. So I would like some clarification on that for the next meeting.
Okay.
I just want to make a
Okay.
record of that.
Okay. Okay. And I think for the benefit of those here, that was discussed. The reason that it wasn't a request was because according to the staff analysis, the parking requirements were met. So there was no reason to request additional parking. Okay. Anything else? And council, before you vote, I overlooked one thing, my apologies. I need to ask you if any of you have any conflicts regarding taking action on this item. And or if you've had any ex parte communication regarding this item.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
with regard to the latter, I received ex parte communication on September 20th, 2023 from counsel for forget the name of the LLC, but essentially the representative of
River City Annex.
Yeah, thank you, from Mr. Scott Lee. But I have no pecuniary interest in this project.
Okay, anybody else?
Mr. Mayor, I also received communication but did not respond.
Okay. Did your communication impact your ability to vote on the motion that's on the table?
No.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Jacobs,
Yes.
Councilmember Jorgensen,
Yes.
Councilmember Page,
Yes.
Councilmember Heller.
Yes. Thank you. We'll see you November 13th. Next item, special business. This is DSR FY 2022-0017. This is a design review extension request. Hannah Ball with Urban Land Development is requesting an extension for Pigeonhole, a new mixed-use construction in the Casino Beach area. Ms. Ball, are you going to represent your request? Welcome. If you would, give us your name and address for the record.
Thank you so much, Mayor and Council. Hannah Ball, 215 East 34th Street, Garden City, Idaho. And Mr. Mayor, am I going first, or is there any comments from staff first?
You're going first.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So I am requesting to extend this application for the following reason. The application was submitted under a subdivision and planned unit development application process. The timing of the plat completion far exceeds the 1 year to submit construction documents. The process requires the finished addresses before an applicant can submit construction drawings. And the plat process takes much more time. It's closer to 2 years to get a final plat. The plat, as I mentioned, involves a variety of agencies, and the timeline was not sufficient amount of time to complete this function. We have been proceeding forward with this application, and with all due diligence, we are looking for your approval on this extension request. And for the record, Casino Beach subdivision has made significant improvements to include a documented parking study, a completed subdivision plat, a PUD application, a design review application, and the starting of the necessary infrastructure, which includes a variety of infrastructure to the Pigeonhole site. Casino Beach and Pigeonhole were submitted and approved through several types of applications, including a PUD, a subdivision, and a design review application. The parking was determined and approved through the PUD process, and all was approved through the design review. In the approved parking for a project, a number of factors were taken into account, including a parking study and a shared amount of parking access throughout the entire Casino Beach development. Pigeonhole is a small river-activated mixed-use site that orientates towards the greenbelt in the river. Easements have already been established to ensure pedestrian connectivity and access through the mixed-use site. The city requires an easement for pedestrian pathway off the greenbelt for connectivity that is located in the Pigeonhole site. The easements were granted based on the previous approved application. There are no health, safety, or welfare concerns regarding the extension request of this application, and I thank you for your time and consideration.
Great. Thank you. Any questions, council? Great. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. And just to reiterate what Ms. Ball had indicated, that this application DSR fiscal year 2022 number 17 is within the Casino Beach application. And Casino Beach is a subdivision that was approved as a plan unit development subdivision. These are separate applications, even though Pigeonhole is within the Casino Beach application, and Casino Beach is active and not a subject of an extension tonight. It's current and ongoing. The This application is for the extension of a mixed use structure with 937 square feet of commercial under a residence, right up adjacent to the green belt within the subdivision. And it was reviewed separate, even though it's in conjunction with Casino Beach. I would like to note that the extension code recently changed. And so the staff's analysis goes through parking code where this application is not compliant with parking code. And I can run through that really quickly, but finding number 2 for extension request of 86A 6B states that the application or applicable code has not changed. The application itself has not changed. And so if this provision is interpreted to be to apply or and then this the finding could be met. And so there's 2 draft decision documents in the packet. It's just labeled option A or B in the same decision document. The difference there would be if that or is meant, and that would be option B, and then the entire analysis regarding parking would then go away. So that's option B. Option A is if that provision's interpreted to be, or I'm messing up my words here. If it's and, then it would go away. And then if it's or, then it would be option A, and you would look at either the affirmative or disaffirming parking analysis as well as the entire findings. Now I feel like I gummed that up more than I explained it. And to note, when the application came through originally on the parking analysis, it was found to be deficient, but the design review had requested that a parking analysis be provided, and the Casino Beach parking analysis was provided, noting that it's adjacent to the green belt, as well as Casino Beach offers some ride share, et cetera. And so there were provisions under previous code in what is now the parking allowance is 846, which allows for alternatives to be utilized, noting that those provisions were allowed. It's under current code, it is still underparked by two spots. And Ms. Ball has requested, if it is determined, if we look at code, again, it's new code and how we're going to identify that, to utilize the same Casino Beach parking analysis and apply the same provisions that were previously applied. It is noteworthy that the application that is being reviewed tonight is not on a public street. It is interior, and so it's off of a private drive. Casino Beach, it's also worth noting that Casino Beach did not contest to the parking analysis or the approval of this application as it went through or subsequently. And with that, I stand for questions.
Great. So to be clear, the way our code, the language in our code says there are 2 things to look at here primarily. Has the application changed and has the city code changed? So the language says the application and or applicable city regulations have changed. So we know the application has changed. If you apply the or, then it doesn't matter if the city code changed.
Correct. And
Yeah.
there, Mayor, members of the council, there is a memo from City Attorney Wadhams walking through how that could be interpreted. And so that would be option B if you agree with his analysis.
Okay, any questions, council? Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so wait, one other thing. So I'm not confused. Option A exercises the or, meaning only one of those things has to be complied with to get the extension, or is it option B?
Mayor, thank you for the clarification. That's option B.
Option B.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay,
Thank you.
all right, council?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I find that good cause exists to approve this application insofar that the application itself has not changed. I prefer and interpret this to be affirming language. And for those reasons, and good cause being found that the multi-agencies or the many agencies that need to collaborate to get the plats approved have not had an opportunity to fully do that yet. And for that reason, I move to affirm or option B as it's in the decision document, DSR FY 2022-0017.
Second. Motion and second. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, clerk call roll.
Councilmember Jorgensen,
Yes.
Councilmember Page,
Yes.
Councilmember Heller,
Yes.
Councilmember Jacobs.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. We'll have the platinum. Next item on the agenda, F3, Extra Mile Day Proclamation. Whereas Garden City, Idaho is a community that acknowledges that a special vibrancy exists within the entire community when its citizens collectively go the extra mile in personal effort, volunteerism, and service. And whereas Garden City, Idaho is a community that encourages its citizens to maximize their contribution to the community by giving of themselves wholeheartedly and with total effort, commitment, and conviction to their ambitions, family, friends, and community. And whereas Garden City, Idaho is a community that chooses to shine a light on and celebrate individuals and organizations within its community who go the extra mile to make a difference and lift up fellow members of their community. And whereas Garden City, Idaho acknowledges the mission of Extra Mile America to create 550 extra mile cities in America and is proud to support Extra Mile Day on November 1st, 2023. Now therefore, I, John Evans, Mayor of Garden City, Idaho, do hereby proclaim November 1, 2023 to be Extra Mile Day. I urge each individual in the community to take time on this day to not only go the extra mile in his or her own life, but to also acknowledge all those who are inspirational in their efforts and commitment to make their organizations, families, community, country, or world a better place, dated this 23rd day of October, 2023. Next item, monthly staff reports. As always, council, if you have specific questions, you don't have all the staff leadership here, but you're certainly welcome to communicate with them.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I do have a couple questions for Mr. Schmidt.
Okay.
Mr. Schmidt, I appreciate your being here and your service to the city. And I'm positive you're very tired of this question. But since our constituents are asking, is there an end in sight with TDS?
Mayor, Councilmember Jorgensen, my honest answer is I don't know. I know that doesn't really answer your question, but what we're seeing is there's quite a bit of slowdown right now with all the underground work. I think they've replaced everything that was required of them to replace through their ACHD right-of-way permit. They still, every once in a while, they get our attention. Just recently over on Rock Creek, we had a little problem that we're trying to deal with right now. But I think a majority of the work they're doing in Garden City underground has been completed. I know there's some aerial work they're going to do, but that shouldn't impact anybody. The one thing they are doing right now is tying services into homes that have signed up for their service. So, that would just be individual homes, not a wide scale process. If you sign up, they'll tie you in but as far as the big work they were doing, I believe we're on the tail end of it. So as soon as I get the official word that they're done, I'll let you know. But until then, keep your eyes open. Yeah. I just would like to tell you though, that we are not on an island here.
Yeah.
Every other city, my counterparts in Nampa, Meridian, everywhere are dealing with the same issues that we are dealing with. Or the only problem with us is that we were the first city they came into. So we had to deal with a lot of growing pains with them. So I think they've cleaned it up pretty good. But it's a long answer.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
The other question I have is regarding the nature path and the improvements to the green belt. Can you just give us a little bit more detail on how those projects are going and
of
if you
course I can.
anticipate any delays in completion?
Yeah, Mayor, Councilmember Jorgensen, the nature path, as everybody that uses the nature path is well aware, there was a sinkhole that developed right across the diversion structure for the new dry creek. So we kind of just stopped looking at it for a while, and it obviously didn't go away by itself. So we had to do something. We, through our mayor, we got in touch with New Dry Creek. They took over the project since the Woods subdivision and basically is responsible for maintenance on that. So that's where the money's coming from to repair this. They have a huge excavator out there right now. And from what I understand, as of Friday, they dug out one of the diversion pipes. That there are 4 of them in there. They pulled one of them out the other day. So I think they're right on schedule. I think they're doing exactly what they planned on doing. They'll go in and replace all the pipes, backfill everything, and put the dirt on top, and it will just become the nature path again. I would say there's probably a month of work left to do, weather permitting. If the weather gets, well, I don't know, those guys work in the river anyway, so it probably doesn't matter if it's raining or snowing out there. But that's kind of the timeline right now. If anything changes, I'll put it on the next staff report for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, anything else? Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to our. Sorry, I missed something. Move on to item G. Last bit of business tonight, and that's to authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement with ITD to provide $15,000 in matching funds for the Chinnen Boulevard drainage design work. This is an item that this is an amount of money we reserved in the budget you passed in August. Are there any questions? Okay, it's a pleasure of the council.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I move to authorize you as mayor to enter into an agreement with the Idaho Transportation Department to provide $15,000 in matching funds for the Chinnen Boulevard drainage design work project.
Got a motion and a second. Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Page,
Yes.
Councilmember Heller,
Yes.
Councilmember Jacobs, Councilmember Jorgensen.
Yes.
Thank you. That concludes the business on our agenda this evening. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor, I move to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We stand adjourned.